Good evening, everybody. I'm Jenny Hayes Carroll at the Blake Journal, and our special guest today is Ellis McGaughy. He is plant manager at Fayetteville Works DuPont site. Mr. McGaughy, we're glad to have you here with us.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Now, I understand that you're about to celebrate. The DuPont people are about to celebrate a major milestone at their plant at the Blake and Cumberland County line. Can you tell us some of what you're planning on doing?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we're so happy to be celebrating 40 years of safe, continued operation here in the community. We've got several events planned. The actual date, I believe, was sometime around May 10th was when we first made some of the first pounds at the plant in 1971. And then, so next week we'll be having an event on Wednesday, and we'll be inviting some community leaders, some state and government officials, and also some DuPont former plant managers that were here. And we're going to be expecting to have our Chief Executive Officer visit our plant for the first time, Ellen Kuhlman, and she'll be our keynote speaker.
Oh, that sounds great.
So we're really excited about that, but it just doesn't end there on that Wednesday. We've got events planned later in the week, culminating in Saturday. We'll have an event for the employees. We're having a picnic. We've got a lot of activities planned. We're going to have tours where employees can take their families through a driving through tour of the plant to see where they work. Many times this will be the first time their wives or children or spouses will see where they spend a lot of their time. So it's really going to be a good day.
So can you give us a background on some of the history of the plant? Like what products do you make at the Fayetteville Works plant?
Sure. Well, we have a very interesting history. The plant was announced to be built locally, I think it was 1969. We bought 2,600 acres right on the Cumberland County, Bladen County line. And it took about 3 years to build the first plant. We built a powerhouse, waste treatment, and we built a facility called Butte-Site. And in 1971, as I said before, it started up, and we had about 200 employees then. Well, the site continued to grow, and in around 1978 or 79, we added Nafion. And by around 1980, we had about 400 employees. And we also had a Dimetrol facility. I forgot to mention that. That was in the early days. That was also 1971. And then in the 1990s, we sold the Dimetrol business. And in the 2000s, we added our Tedlar PVF business that was recently announced. We had an expansion, I think, announced a couple of years ago. And so today we have around 450 employees, and it's a thriving variety of businesses. And so what you asked me, what are some of the things used for? Butte-Site is something that we all use just about every day. When we get in our cars to drive somewhere, it's what makes safety glass safety glass. If you've ever seen a car windshield broken and it doesn't shatter all apart, it's because there's a plastic inner barrier inside the glass, and that's a Butte-Site material. We also make Century Glass. Century Glass came along in 2000, I can't remember, 2005 I believe. It went into the old Dimetrol facility. And it's similar to Butte-Site, but it makes hurricane glass, some of the high strength products for glass. As the skywalk over the Grand Canyon, I believe, is made out of Century Glass. Nafion has a variety of uses. It goes into fuel cells, which is very good for the environment. And then PVF, Tedlar, is a material that is used primarily in the solar panel industry. It's a type of plastic that withstands the weather very well. And as you can imagine, in solar panels, they have to stand up to the sunshine for many, many, many years. And that product goes into those solar panels. It also goes into aerospace and some construction industry as well. So it's just, the great thing about our site, it has just a good variety of products, and it's products that help each of us as individuals in our everyday lives, and it also helps with our environment, helping us with our energy.
And you say you have how many employees, over 400?
We have over 400 DuPont employees today, and we have anywhere from 100 to 300 contract employees, partners, that you know, it changes based on our business needs, the exact number on a day-to-day basis.
Most of those folks are our neighbors here.
Absolutely.
Right. What kind of economic impact has DuPont had on our community?
Well, I would say, especially if you look at the span of 40 years, it's had a tremendous impact. If you just think about, you know, all the families that it's provided a job for people to send children to school, put food on the table, clothes. I mean, that's the very basic needs. But beyond that, we pay about $100 million a year in payroll taxes. And we also pay about $1 million a year in property taxes. And then I'll follow up too and say that just in industry, every job that we have in industry creates about 2 or 3 more jobs out in the community. So if you consider that, you know, you think about so many jobs and so many families that have really benefited over the years from DuPont being here.
Oh yeah, that's great. Any final thoughts that you might have for the folks that are watching, or invites you might have?
Well, I'd definitely like to say that DuPont is very grateful for the opportunity to be here in the area. And we've had a very good tenure in our 40 years, and we hope to have another 40 and beyond. But we want to strengthen the community relationship that we have here. It's just so important for the things that the community helps with DuPont. DuPont helps with the community. It's definitely a win-win. We have so many of our employees that are active in the community that help with such things as Science Olympiad. We have networks that help with coat drives, things to help the recent tornado victims that we've had. And it's really not it's not that DuPont is separate from the community or community separate from DuPont. I'd like to think of it as that we're all one family, and by working together we can achieve great things.
Well, that's wonderful, and that's what we hope, and that's what we want here in our county. And not just in our county, in North Carolina and the United States as a whole. Folks, we thank you for joining us, and we thank Plant Manager McGaughy here for joining us and taking his time out of his busy schedule, because needless to say, he has a schedule of events on that are really high on his list. And we hope you have a great week, and thank you for joining us on the Saturday Show.